the Sports Expo is in place. Started yesterday.
Yeah.
But what is the agenda for sports in this country? From sports girls, from media practitioners, and somebody who loves sports.
Well, the agenda of sport should really to create jobs. That's what the agenda should be. I mean, first and foremost.
Hold back.
Yes.
What is the agenda? Not what it should be.
What is at the moment? It's very skewed. The view is very skewed. I don't know what the agenda is. As long as I think we have sport taking place, that it's more than enough. I think government is content with it, with the fact that we have just sport. They shouldn't be content though. They shouldn't be. The people as well. Okay. Because the government is the people. Okay. So the people are not per se really intrigued in getting into the conversation. And even if you can see the turnout for today, maybe it's going to get better. But what I'm seeing at the moment is that even the sports codes, most of them are not here. So what is that supposed to say? What is the conversation we're supposed to be having when they are not a part of it? What is the sports expo?
Who's the problem? Whose problem is that?
We are the problem. I think.
Who are we?
We the people are the problem. Okay. Because yet again, we're not helping ourselves in changing the conversation, changing the agenda for sports, because it's still the same conversation that we're having. There's a lack of money. Before even, the whole situation of our economy coming into place now, the conversation has already been going that way. But now what we're just using the economic crisis as a reason as to why sport is not going ahead. But it's been 29 years before, everything else. So I don't understand why we're still having the same conversation, the same agenda. I think it should change. And at the moment, it's very skewed. We don't know what is exactly happening in sport. It's a high now, a low then. We're looking at our national teams, the way they perform, and it's not good enough.
In sports.
I know.
There's no agenda.
Even our agenda as the media, it's not highly funded to give out the best of our abilities. We're giving out what we can. Because with what we have at our disposal. I know you want to have another question after that, but the fact that is we are having a conversation that has to surround sport, media, private sector. How do we link those to create a sporting agenda that we can all be proud of? How can we create a sporting community that we are able to say, well, listen, this is something that we are coming up with, because what has been happening in the past hasn't been working. But now we have something now that we can start with, starting with the Sports Expo. I haven't really heard the conversations, but I know that some of the former athletes were giving their side of the story. They were telling the minister, the whole public what is wrong with sport. And it's good that we're having those conversations. But what after the conversation? What after the Sports Expo are we going to do then?
The question is, the theme for the Sports Expo is professionalizing sports.
Yes.
Where are we?
We are, some say semi, some say we are not there yet. So
but you're a journalist.
You
are a professional journalist.
From my perspective is that we are nowhere close to being professional. We are trying. And trying is not trying good enough. We are trying to be professional, but then again, we are lacking in so many areas. We have here and there where we can say that, for example, let me go to something that I'm quite good at, and I know perfectly, football. Yes. We are supposed to have started with a league, as a professional. We're supposed to be having a professional league. But with the infights and one holding the other, are we supposed to have 16 teams or 13 teams? The conversation those aren't conversations we're supposed to be having in a professional setting. We're supposed to know that this is what happens in a professional setting. But now we're still mimicking. Are we there yet? Are we not there? Is it semi? Is it professional? Even though our national team does particularly well at some points. But it's not enough to just say that, we have a national team, we have a league. We have a league? That's what people ask. Do we have a league? Because leagues around the world are already kicking off and they have kicked the ball rolling already. And we are still here wondering, where is football?
Whose problem is it?
Our problem.
Who's we?
We the people.
Because I'm trying to link this with the whole issue of professionals.
Yeah.
Do you have professionals in sports? For example, your administrators, are they professionals?
No.
Your coaches, are they professional? Your players, are they professional?
Like I said, we are mimicking something that is like professional. But our administrators...
Then you're lying.
We are mimicking. And our administrators are at a point where they are volunteers. volunteer work. That is not...
How do you expect things to happen with volunteers?
Exactly. It's somebody who's going to do it at their convenience because I am volunteering my services, meaning I'm going to do it when I feel like it. And that's how we have sport in the dilemma that it's in, because we are mimicking what should be and not doing what is ought to be there.
Now, I'm thinking we have a sports expo as a start.
Yeah.
Then where are we going?
I want to know as well, because listen, I know from a journalistic point of view, I'm supposed to at least have an answer, but I am as confused as the Sports Expo. I love the idea of the Sports Expo. It's brilliant to show the world what is in Namibia. But yet again, before that, what did we do? After that, what are we going to do? Those are the most crucial questions that we should be asking. And
are you saying the leaders have failed sports?
The people the people. I would say that, because not only starting from the government having failed the people, even the people in the different federations, associations, whatever you want to call them, they are also not doing their job right. They are also not solving the administrative issues. There's so much corruption going on in sport. There's so many infights. It's my sport. It's not supposed to be a sport. Sport is for the people. We can't be having fights of people fighting each other about who owns what and what. We should be having conversations that are saying that we want to build because it's ours and we're going to leave it here for the next generation.
So why are the people fighting?
Because they feel they own the sports.
Is it an issue that they don't know?
And it's an issue of greed. It's an issue of greed, and I've been doing this, and I should be doing this, but it's an issue of greed. I would say, really, greed is what is whole, and people not knowing what to do after they are done with administration in sport. A lot of people don't have another plan besides sitting in the office and saying, I'm an administrator for this federation and that federation. They have nothing else to do, and that's why they sit there. And even if it's not working well, they hold on to, God, Lord knows what they're holding on to. But we have to change. But I like the fact that we're having the conversations. But now we need to put those conversations into action.
Going forward, how long will it take Namibia to become the sports to become professional?
29 years.
It will take us another 29
29 years. We've been doing 29 years of fighting, 29 years of talking, 29 years of everything. It will take 29 years for action. I'm not saying I don't like the conversation we're having, but I know, and because I've been around in sport for a very long time, as simple as getting a sporting attire takes a whole year. Imagine implementing a professional setting.